Hello students, today in this lecture of alternating current, we will start from phasors and phasor diagram. So first you know what do you mean by phasors and phasor diagram. These are just like the vectors, but actually these are the scalar quantities. So first you see what is the purpose of phasors and phasor diagram. So see here, suppose this is an electrical circuit which is composed by some circuit elements. These are the three circuit elements: resistor, inductor and capacitor. It's clear? Any electrical circuit in your course, it will be composition of these three. It may be only one or it may be the composition of these three. Now see here, if when an alternating source is represented by this symbol, we represent the alternating source by this symbol, while this is representing a DC source. Cell or battery provides the direct current, while this type of source, when we are representing symbolically by this diagram, then it is an alternating source which will provide an alternating voltage. And what is the alternating voltage? Which varies continuously in magnitude with time and direction is changing periodically. So when this voltage is applied across any electrical source, any electrical circuit, then what will happen? The current which will be produced, that will also be the alternating. Means if you have applied AC voltage here, then the current produced will also be the AC. And this current will have the same frequency as the voltage. The frequency of current will be same as the frequency of voltage. Means suppose if you have applied an alternating voltage of 50 Hertz, means completing 50 cycles in 1 second, then the current which will produce, that will also complete how many cycles? 50 cycles in 1 second. That will also have the frequency 50 Hertz. But here we will find that it is not necessary that current and voltage will be in the same phase. Current and voltage need not to be in the same phase. What is its meaning? Need not to be in the same phase. Means it is not necessary that both will become simultaneously zero. Both will become simultaneously maximum. Both will change the direction simultaneously. It is not necessary. It's clear? They may become maximum at the different timings. They may become zero at the different timings. It is possible that current is zero but the voltage is not zero. Or it is also possible that voltage is zero but the current is not zero. It is also possible that current changes its direction before changing the direction of the voltage, before changing the polarity of the AC voltage. It's clear? So they may vary in the phase. Their phases may be different. It's clear? So how will you express this thing with the help of a diagram? So as we know that electric current and voltage, the current and voltage both are the scalar quantities. Scalar quantity, they don't have any direction. It's clear? How will you express this phase relationship between voltage and current in diagrammatically? So that we can represent diagrammatically by treating voltage and current as phasors. We will treat them as phasors. It is clear? We will treat them as phasors. And how will you draw these phasors? These phasors will be represented by a straight line whose length will be proportional to their magnitude. These phasors we can represent geometrically with the help of a straight line whose length will be proportional to their magnitude. It's clear? And the phase angle, the phase difference between voltage and current will be the angle between these two phasors. It's clear? So voltage and current both are purely scalar. There is nothing vector, anything vector. but we can represent them geometrically How and in what way? By treating them as the phasors. It's clear. And these phasors are represented, these phasors are drawn exactly in the same way as we draw the vector quantities. As we draw the vector quantities. It is clear. So suppose here, if it is drawn like this is the phasor of the current and this is the phasor of the voltage. So as we know that angle is measured in anti-clockwise direction, so this is in positive direction, this angle is positive angle, means here voltage is leading to the current. Voltage is leading to the current, means voltage will become 0 earlier than current. Voltage will change its polarity earlier than changing the direction of current. Voltage will achieve maximum value earlier than the achieving maximum value by the current. Suppose if the voltage is drawn in this side, so you can see here, now which comes earlier. So as you know that this angle is positive, this comes earlier and this comes afterwards, means this is leading. Current is leading to the voltage. It's clear. So this diagram is called the phasor diagrams, while the arrows, the lengths which are drawn, the arrows which are drawn of voltage and current, that are called the phasors. It's clear. So with the help of phasor diagram, we can represent the phase relationship geometrically in a very convenient way. It's clear. You can see here, when an alternating voltage is applied across an electrical circuit, then the electrical alternating current of same frequency is produced. But there will be some phase variation. It may be same phase or it may have the different phases also. It's clear. That already I have explained, that it is not necessary that both will become 0 together. It is not necessary that both will change the direction simultaneously. It's clear. So this thing is represented by treating voltage and current as the phasors. How will you draw these phasors? These phasors are represented geometrically by a straight line having an arrow at its one end. The length of the straight line will be proportional to the magnitude of that phasor. It's clear. And the angle between V and I as the phase angle. So this diagram is called the phasor diagram. Now after this we will discuss each circuit. As we know that every electrical circuit will either consist resistor, or it will consist inductor, or it will consist capacitor, or combination of any two, R and L, L and C, R and C, like this, or the combination of all the three. It's clear. So you can see here we will start from the pure resistive circuit. Pure resistive circuit in which there is no inductance. There is a resistor whose inductance is 0. A thin wire is also offering some inductance. A thin wire is also offering some inductance. But here we have assumed this as 0. Its inductance as 0. So here there is a resistor whose resistance is R and inductance is 0. Therefore, it will become a pure resistive circuit. And it is connected across a source of AC EMF given by V equals to V naught sin omega t. What is the angular frequency of variation here? Angular frequency of variation is omega. What is the phase of the alternating voltage? It is omega t. It is clear. This angle is representing the phase of the voltage at time t. It's clear. Now see here, the current which will be produced here, that will be also alternating. It will also have the same angular frequency as the voltage. What will be the magnitude of current? That you can find very easily. I equals to V upon R. So it will be V naught. In place of V you can write V naught sin omega t. V naught sin omega t upon R. Now you rearrange the term V naught upon R into sin omega t. Now what is V naught upon R? That you know, V naught is the voltage, R is the resistance. Voltage upon resistance means current. It's clear. Therefore V naught upon R, it is current. Since this current is corresponding to the peak value of voltage. V naught is what? It is the peak value of AC voltage. It is the maximum value of voltage. So V naught upon R, it will be the current, and it is called the peak current, I naught, peak value of current. Therefore we can write it as I equals to I naught sine omega t. It's clear. Means what will be the current expression in a pure resistive circuit? It will be I equals to I naught sine omega t when alternating voltage applied is V equals to V naught sine omega t. If you see here angular frequency is omega. What is the phase angle? Phase angle is omega t, which is same as this. Is there any phase difference between voltage and current? So there is no phase difference. Because it has the phase angle omega t, it also has the phase angle omega t. So what is the difference? Difference is 0. Therefore there is no phase difference. And when there is no phase difference, then what will happen? Voltage and current will simultaneously become 0. V and I will become 0 together. It's clear. They will become maximum together. They will change their direction together. It's clear. Changes their direction. It's clear. Changes their direction simultaneously. Becomes 0 simultaneously. Becomes maximum simultaneously. It's clear. Because there is no phase difference. So how will you represent it by phasor diagram? How will you represent this thing with the help of the phasor diagram? So you can see here I have drawn the phasors of voltage and current. You can see, if we, here it is written, in pure resistive circuit, voltage and current simultaneously becomes 0, simultaneously becomes maximum, simultaneously reverses the direction. On the phasor diagram, how will you represent? Since the angle between them is 0, there is no phase difference. No phase difference means the angle between these two phasors will be 0. So if it is representing the phasor of the voltage, then in the same direction there will be the phasor of the current. You may take the phasor of the current longer and phasor of the voltage is smaller. That is also possible. It's clear that the length of the phasor of the current phasor is longer and voltage phasor is shorter in length. Now how will you represent this thing with the help of a graph, graphically, in terms of the sine graph? So see here you have seen that in pure resistive circuit, if the voltage is V equals to V naught sine omega t, then what will be the current? Current at any instant will be given by I naught sine omega t. It's clear. Here this is a sine curve. So this is the curve of the voltage. This is one cycle. One cycle completes in the time capital T, which is called the periodic time. So the graph of current will also be in the same way. It's clear. Here this is the graph of current. You can see here at time t equals to 0, both values are 0. V and I both are 0. At time t by 4, this time, both has achieved the maximum value. Current has achieved maximum value I naught, voltage has achieved maximum value V naught. Then at time t by 2 means it is 2 times of t by 4. What has happened? Both values have become 0 and then now the direction has reversed. Now current will flow in opposite direction. Now the polarity of voltage will be reversed. It is clear. Once again, current increases and becomes maximum at what time? At 3t by 4. You can see here, this is 3t by 4. It's clear. both have achieved the maximum value in the opposite direction, and at time t once again it has become 0. Means here variation is taking place simultaneously. Variation is taking place simultaneously. It's clear? So this is all about the pure resistive circuit. Now after this we will see the pure inductive circuit. What is the pure inductive circuit? In which there is only inductor, there is no resistor. It's clear? Here we will assume that the connecting leads have the zero resistance. See here. This is a pure inductive circuit. Though in practical conditions, this is not possible to have an inductor without any resistance, because inductor is made by making the coils of a wire. It is a coiled wire. It is a coiled wire. Coiled wire. And since it is a wire, therefore what will happen? It will definitely have some resistance. But here anyhow we have assumed that its resistance is 0. And since it is given the shape of the coil, therefore what will happen? Now it will offer the inductance. It will produce a significant inductance. It will produce a significant inductance. Now see here, what is inductance? It is the delaying the growth of voltage or current because of the self-induced EMF. It's clear? When current will pass through this, it will be either delayed or its growth will be either delayed or its decay will be delayed. It's clear? And because of what? Since there will be the changing magnetic flux, so an EMF will be induced which will oppose to the main EMF, and that induced EMF is called the self-induced EMF. So here we have assumed that there is a coil whose inductance is L, and it is connected a source of alternating voltage V equals to V naught sine omega t. Let at any instant current in this is I. At any time t current is I. So what will be the self-induced EMF here? Self-induced EMF, it is given by minus L di upon dt. Now you apply the Kirchhoff's second law, Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's voltage law. So from the Kirchhoff's voltage law, we know that the sigma E equals to sigma IR. What is sigma E? There are two sources of EMF. There are two sources of voltage. One is the applied AC voltage and other is the induced voltage. Applied voltage is V and induced voltage is minus L di upon dt. So what will be sigma E? V plus within bracket minus L di upon dt. What is sigma IR? As already we have assumed that there is no resistance, therefore I into 0, that will be, it will become 0. Means V plus minus minus L di upon dt will become 0. It's clear? So you bring V in that side, so it will become L di upon dt equals to V, and V equals to V naught sine omega t. So what will be di? Di you can write V naught upon L into sine omega t into dt. Into dt. Here it is dt also. It's clear? Into dt. You can keep di only in the LHS and other things in the RHS. So V naught upon L sine omega t dt. It's clear? This will be the value of the voltage, value of the current. Now see here. Now we will integrate it. In order to find the value of the current, we will integrate. So see here di equals to V naught upon L sine omega t dt. It's clear? Now on integrating both the sides, it's clear? And here we will not take care of definite and indefinite integration, that you forget for the physics. So integral di equals to V naught upon L integral sine omega t dt. Integral di, it is just like integral dx equals to x. So integral di will be equal to I, as we know that integral dx equals to x. Therefore, integral di will be equal to I, V naught upon L. And when we will integrate this, so this will come out minus cos omega t upon omega. It's clear? It will come out minus cos omega t upon omega. Maths students know and bio students can directly remember this, that on integrating sin omega t you will get this, and this already I have explained in the previous lecture, so that you can see from there. When you will rearrange the terms, this and this are in the product, so now it will be minus sign, you write here V naught divided by omega L into cos omega t. So it is minus V naught upon omega L, and this term of cos you write in sine. And why do you write in sine? Because the expression of the voltage is in the sine function. Expression of the voltage is in the sine function. So that's why we will convert in the sine function. It's clear? So this we can write cos omega t, we can write sine 90 minus omega t. 90 degree equals to pi by 2. So sine pi by 2 minus omega t equals to cos omega t. Now see here, there is one formula, minus sine theta equals to sine of minus theta. So this minus you associate with the angle. It's clear? This minus you associate with the angle minus theta. So when you will do the minus, so it will become pi by 2 minus pi by 2 minus, it will become plus omega t. So it will become I equals to V naught upon omega L sine omega t minus pi by 2. It's clear? Now see here, what will be the dimension of this? Sine omega t plus pi by minus pi by 2. So it is a trigonometrical term having no dimension, having no unit, and it is having no unit. Therefore, from the principle of homogeneity of dimension, this will have the same unit, it will have the same dimension as I. It's clear? Means V naught upon omega t will have the same dimension as current, as of current. Same dimension will have same dimension as of current. It is clear? Now since this current is corresponding to the peak value of voltage, therefore we can write it as peak value of current. V naught upon omega L equals to current corresponding to peak voltage. That is the peak value of current. That is the maximum value of current, which we can represent by I naught. So what will happen? This expression will become I equals to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. It will become I equals to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. Now all of you see here. Here the expression of the current is this, while the expression of the voltage was V equals to V naught sine omega t from equation 1. Expression of voltage was this. When you have applied this voltage across a pure inductive circuit, the current at any instant will be given by I equals to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. It's clear? So you can see here, from here, which one is leading, whose phase angle is smaller, whose phase angle is bigger. So its phase angle is omega t. Its phase angle is omega t minus pi by 2. Means it has a smaller phase, it has bigger phase. Means voltage is leading to the current by a phase angle pi by 2. By a phase angle pi by 2. Means in pure inductive circuit, AC voltage leads to the current by a phase angle pi by 2. It's clear? Voltage is leading to the current by a phase angle pi by 2. How will you represent this phase relationship on the phasor diagram? So you can see here. Here it is leading, voltage is leading. Therefore, the phasor of voltage will be ahead of the phasor of current. It's clear? So you see here, if you draw the phasor of current in this direction, then the phasor of voltage will be in this direction, because anti-clockwise direction is taken positive. It's clear? So in pure inductive circuit, a voltage is leading to the current by a phase angle pi by 2. It's clear? Now how will you represent the same thing with the help of graph? It is the phasor diagram. Now graphical representation means in terms of the sine curve. It's clear? How will you draw? So see here, you can see here how will you represent it by with the help of the sine curve. You can see graphically this phase relationship between voltage and current in pure inductive circuit. So see here this is phase difference of 2 pi equals to time difference of t. It's clear? Phase difference of 2 pi equals to time difference of t. So if you divide by pi by 4, so 2 pi upon 4 will be equivalent to t by 4. T is what? Periodic time. Means 2 pi by 4, pi by 2 equivalent to t by 4. So see here if you see voltage and time, voltage versus time curve. So this is V versus T curve. It's clear? You can see here voltage V leads to current by a phase angle pi by 2, or we can say this as I lags behind to B by a phase angle pi by 2. Means I is current is lagging behind to the voltage by a phase angle pi by 2. It means in the time it is lagging behind by how much time? T by 4. Means if voltage starts at t equals to 0, then current will start at what time? At time t by 4. It will start at time t by 4. When if voltage becomes maximum at time t by 4, current will become maximum at what time? At 2 times of t by 4. 2 times of t by 4 means t by 2. You can see here. This is the phasor of the voltage. Now we will start the phasor of the current, not the phasor. This is the graph of the AC voltage. This is the graph of the AC voltage. We will start the graph of the AC current from which time? From time t by 4. See here, it is started from here. It's clear? And this is drawn in this way. It is drawn in this way. It's clear? If you produce it back in this direction, so it will come up to this point. It's clear? So you can see here, when voltage becomes maximum at time t by 4, voltage becomes maximum at time t by 4, while the current becomes maximum at what time? At time 2 times of t by 4. Means after how much time? After time t by 4. Then you can see here, voltage reverses the direction of at time 2t by 4. 2 times of t by 4. Current is reversing the direction at what time? At 3t by 4, means after what time? T by 4. It is clear? Voltage becomes 0 at time t by 2, that is 2 times of t by 4. Current becomes 0 at 3 times of t by 4, means after time t by 4. It is clear? So this is the graphical representation of V and I in pure inductive circuit. Now after this, there is one more thing. What is inductive reactance? What is inductive reactance? So see here, what is the meaning of inductive reactance? Inductive reactance is represented by the symbol XL. What is its meaning? You can see here we have got this relation I naught equals to V naught upon omega L. You can see here in this on this page we have got this relation. This is V naught upon omega L equals to I naught. It's clear. So I naught equals to V naught upon omega L. This term, this is current, this is voltage, therefore this must be resistance. This must be resistance. Means omega L is a term which is having the dimension of resistance. What is its unit? Its unit is ohm. Unit of resistance is ohm. So its unit is ohm. It is clear? Because this is current, this is voltage, therefore this must be the resistance. But as we know that this circuit is pure inductive, there is no resistance, and there is no resistance, then how will you define this? So it has been given a new term. It is named as inductive reactance. It is similar to the resistance, but not resistance. It is similar to the resistance, inductive reactance, and represented by XL. What is inductive reactance? It is the obstruction offered by inductor in the flow of current. It delays the growth or decay of the current. When current passes through an inductor, it do not become maximum or it do not become zero as soon as the circuit is switched on or switched off. It will take some time in achieving to the peak value. Suppose this is the circuit, and here this is the AC source, here this is the key, on off key. So as soon as you will switch on, current will not become maximum instantly. It becomes maximum instantly in pure resistive circuit. As soon as you will switch on, current will achieve the maximum value. But here it will not be. It will take some time, 5 millisecond, 10 millisecond. After that time, it will become maximum. Similarly, if you switch off, current will not become zero immediately. It will not become zero instantly. It will take some time in decaying to zero. It will take some time, 5 seconds, 10 seconds in decaying to zero. Means what will happen? What is inductive reactance? It is the obstruction offered by inductor in the flow of current. It delays the growth or decay of the current. What will be its unit? Its unit is ohm. Now as you know, XL equals to, so we have termed as XL equals to omega L. What is omega? Omega equals to 2 pi f. Already I have explained omega is angular frequency, f is the frequency of applied AC source, which is expressed in hertz. So it will become 2 pi FL. Now for DC frequency equals to 0. And when frequency is 0, so then XL will become 0. Therefore, inductor do not offer any obstruction in the flow of DC. If this is the inductor, if DC is allowed to pass through it, DC passes very easily through it. Inductor do not offer any obstruction in the flow of DC, but it offers obstruction in the flow of AC. It's clear. If we draw the graph of XL versus F for a given inductor, given inductor means for which the value of L is fixed, then we will find that XL is directly proportional to F. XL is directly proportional to F. Means more the frequency, more will be the reactance, more will be the obstruction. Means at higher frequency, obstruction will be more. At lower frequency, obstruction will be less. It's clear. So this is all about the pure inductive circuit. Now after this, we will see the pure capacitive circuit. What is the pure capacitive circuit? So you can see here, pure capacitive circuit in which there is no resistance. Connecting leads have no resistance. It is clear. It is a pure capacitor, perfect capacitor, ideal capacitor. There is no loss of energy because of any other source. Let us consider an alternating voltage V equals to V naught sine omega t, which is applied across this capacitor of capacitance C. Let at any instant the charge on the plates of capacitor is on this plate, suppose plus Q, on this plate it will be minus Q. Since it is connected to an AC source, so what will happen? This polarity will also keep on changing. Here at this moment it is plus and this moment it is minus. So after some time what will happen? It will be minus Q, it will be plus Q. Means it will keep on changing. It is clear? And the level of charge will also be changed because the voltage which is applied is alternating voltage. The voltage which we are applying, that is varying, therefore the charge on the plates will also vary and it will change its sign also. It's clear? So let at any instant the charge on the plates of capacitor is Q. So, and the current is I. Here current is suppose I. So see here charge on the plates of capacitor is Q. So what will be the potential difference across the plates of capacitor? It will be Q upon C. Potential difference across the plates of capacitor, it will be Q upon C. And this potential difference will be equal to the applied voltage. Why? Because there is no resistance. There is no resistance means there will be no loss of voltage. There will be no potential drop anywhere. It's clear? Therefore, potential difference across the plates of capacitor will be equal to the applied AC voltage. Therefore, Q upon C will be equal to V. It's clear? So, you can write Q equals to C into V. Q equals to C into V. That is C, and what is V? V is V naught sine omega t. So, V equals to V naught sine omega t. Now, how will you find I from here? So, we will differentiate this. I equals to d by dt of Q. I equals to dq upon dt. Q upon t means I. So, it is d by dt of Cv naught sine omega t. Cv naught you can take out common. This is d by dt sine omega t. And d by dt sine omega t equals to omega cos omega t. It will be omega cos omega t. It's clear? So now rearranging the terms, omega into C into V naught cos omega t. This will be the value of I. Now we will further rearrange the terms. So I can be written as V naught divided by 1 upon omega C cos omega t. It's clear? Now you can see here this term of cos we will write in sine. Why? Because the expression of the voltage is given in the sine function. It is given in the sine function. So here also, in order to compare the phase, we will change in sine. So it is V naught 1 upon omega c, and cos omega t can be written as sine omega t plus 90, that is pi by 2. So see here, this term is the dimensionless term because it is a trigonometrical term. Therefore, what will happen? This term will have the dimension of current, because here in this side there is current. This is the formula of current. Therefore, it will also have the dimension of current. It's clear? And since this is the current corresponding to the peak value of voltage, therefore it is defined as the peak value of current. Peak value of current. I naught equals to V naught upon 1 upon omega c. Now you can see, therefore I equals to I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2, where I naught is this. What is the expression of the V naught? It is V equals to V naught sine omega t. Means when across the capacitor you have applied this AC voltage, the current which is produced is given by this. Now its phase angle is omega t, its phase angle is omega t plus pi by 2, means which one is leading? Very obvious it is. Current is leading to the voltage by a phase angle pi by 2. It is clear. How will you represent this thing in on the phasor diagram? If the phasor of current is this, then the phasor of voltage you will make in this side. Why? Because it is lagging behind to the current. V is lagging behind to the current by what phase angle? Pi by 2. In the graphical representation, how will you draw? So you can see here you can, if we draw graphically, this phase relationship can be represented as below. As we know that phase difference of 2 pi is equivalent to the time difference of t. Therefore, pi by 2 will be equivalent to t by 4. What is the expression of V? V equals to V naught sine omega t. Therefore, this is the graph of, because equation is this, therefore it will begin from t equals to 0. It is clear. This is the graph of V. It is clear. Here current is leading to the voltage by what time? By time t by 4. It is clear. Means everything which take place in current will take place earlier than voltage by time t by 4. Here voltage becomes maximum at time t by 4. Current will become maximum at time t equals to 0. Means how much time earlier to the current voltage? Voltage has become maximum at t by 4. Current will become maximum at time t equals to 0. Means t by 4 time earlier. It's clear. So it will begin from here. Voltage becomes 0 at 2 times of t by 4. 2 times of t by 4. Current will become 0 at t by 4. Means how much time earlier? T by 4. It's clear. Voltage reverses direction at time 2 into t by 4. Current will reverse the direction at time t by 4. Means t by 4 time earlier to the voltage. It is clear. So this is the graphical representation. Now what is the capacitive reactance? Capacitive reactance, this is also a term identical to the inductive reactance. As you have seen this relation, I naught equals to V naught divided by 1 upon omega c. From here it is very obvious, this is current, this is voltage, therefore this is a term which is having the dimension of resistance. Its unit will be ohm. It has been named as capacitive reactance. Why reactance? Because it is similar to the resistance, but this, since the circuit is resistance less, there is no resistance in the circuit. Therefore, we have named it as capacitive reactance. It is a type of obstruction offered by capacitor in the flow of current. It's clear? Here it is a type of obstruction offered by capacitor in the flow of current. So, Xc equals to 1 upon omega c, that is equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. It's clear? Now, see here, if we draw graph of Xc versus frequency for a given capacitor for which the value of C is fixed. So, this graph will be like a rectangular hyperbola. Means as frequency increases, capacitive reactance decreases. While the inductive reactance XL is increasing, as you can notice here. When F is increasing, XL will decrease. But what will happen to the XC? XC will decrease. It will increase and it will decrease. It is clear? So, this is the capacitive reactance. So, this is all about the pure capacitive circuit. Now, after this, we will do LCR circuit, but that we will not do in this lecture. In the next lecture, we will begin from the LCR circuit. So, thank you.